Welcome back, everybody. So today, let's get right into three stocks. We need to talk about it before we get down to any other stocks in this video. First one, I made quite a few videos on UNH. The second one, Nike. And the third one would be Apple, which is part of this video. UNH, you can see breaking out of this wedge pattern. We got a bullish engulfing candle today. So it would be interesting to see if this thing comes back here, holds around 316.17. It can push up to 340 plus right here. This previous pivot where we got a rejection. So that is the next stop, and not to mention this gap that could be coming on a later date. Now the second one is Nike. I even had a video on my channel. It says make $1 million. That's how big of a position I had on Nike, and still holding that position. Only took some profit on some calls, but the shares are holding. And look at this pop. I mean, this is the weekly time frame, and this is the exact chart that I had for you guys before that. Look at this. Pull back right here, pull back right here on this weekly time frame, and we're pulling back into this trend line. And guess what, guys? I mean, look at this pop all the way up to $74. Now, it's not done yet, and I think it can go up even more. If you look at my screen, there is going to be a trend line on this weekly time frame, and it can possibly have some more upside, maybe up to 80s. So that's another one that is paying a lot of money. A lot of people made a lot of money. I did share that in my video before. I mean, if you guys want to see that, you're more than welcome to join the Discord. It's totally free, and you can go into my profit and loss section, and you'll see the profits, the people that are actually posting, on Nike. And I think there is still potential for more upside, maybe even a breakout over that 84 to 85 range. If that happens, that's going to be a weekly breakout on Nike. So this one also doing well. That is a great trade idea, especially risk to reward ratio was huge here. And you can see, I mean, from these lows, we held and now making a big move to the upside. So Nike definitely doing it. And the next one, you guys are going to like this one, which is Apple, guys. So Apple stock was up 1.29%. So I'm just going to do my basic technical analysis. And that is a breakout here from this wedge. You can see this thing came down and now it popped over this wedge right here. And so far it's holding. Today got up to 210. Even my video last night, it says Apple rally incoming. And we saw that rally today. It did not hold up really well, but still up 1.29%. It's trading outside the Bollinger Band, but still going, guys. So first of all, there will be a special for 4th of July, which is already on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but let's just finish up with Apple. You can see this breakout here happening already. Now, the question remains, this is the second day from this wedge breakout that happened, and today we got even higher, 210, closing one of those gaps right here. And now, the question here on Apple stock, can we come up and close this gap right here on Apple, which is going to be fantastic. So Apple also breaking out. This is another, a position that we are holding, and I think it has more potential for more upside. Now, people that are watching and subscribe to my channel, you guys already know, I talked about it many times in my video that Apple is the one that I think, has more upside than anything else in the market, especially when you look at, big names like Meta. Then you got Nvidia at a brand new all-time high. Then you have Microsoft hitting brand new all-time high 500. This thing can easily move up to 250 plus. It's just a matter of time. So patience always pays, and you can see this thing already making move. Today it was down to what, 207, 206 ish right here, 207 I think right here. So the support held and the breakout also holding. If this thing gets over, and today we closed over 207, so that's another point here that 207, 206 can hold. This thing can push up to 210. Over that, you're going to see a retest of these highs right here, which is at 214, 215. And over that, you're going to see that gap getting filled right here on Apple stock. So huge upside. And now let's talk about the discount that you guys will get for 4th of July if you're interested. So 4th of July special is on. It's 45% off, 20% off instantly, no code required, and then extra 25% off with promo code 49672 on Patreon. Now, if you don't want to take that route and you want to go through PayPal, There is also a link, and these links are down below in the description as well. You can go and send 800 bucks, and that gets you 1 full year with myself and my group. You can trade with us, and you can learn, and you can also support the channel. And what do you get for that? Well, you guys saw those plays still holding, and those are up massively. Apple is up 67% as of right now. Some people took shorter term calls. Those were up 200% that I shared yesterday in my video. And UNH is another one that is already up and might be going up to 400, which I think that's going to be awesome. And then Nike, which is just really going crazy, over 200% on that play. Massive, massive run. So all these trade ideas will be available, and you're going to get something that cost more than $1,200 for 800 bucks if you go through this 4th of July special. And this might be it, guys, if you're looking to join Patreon. Now, what happened today in the market? Well, Dow rallied, and that is a catch-up trade because S&P and Nasdaq already at brand new all-time high. Dow is up 0.91%, Nasdaq down today. So money actually rotating a little bit out of Nasdaq and going into Dow, down 0.82%, S&P down only 0.11%. Then you got Russell going up 1%. A lot of calls flow coming in here on Russell. That is the great news for the small caps. 11 sectors. You can see basic materials leading the way. Healthcare because of UNH. Definitely consumer defensive also was up there. And technology was lagging behind because of those big names like Nvidia and Microsoft did not really push higher today except Apple. Stock market map, you can see it right here of what's happening in real time. Tesla was down big time because of what's going on between Trump and Elon Musk. Again, these two are going at it. And if you ask me who's losing on all these, Elon Musk paid all that money to elect Trump again. Now he got kicked out of the White House, and now, I mean, I don't know, this guy lost all the respect. Why? Because you did it, and now you're paying for it. You went after Trump endorsing. Now, the EV mandate, all that is gone. That $7,500, it's gone. So who the heck is gonna buy that crap, right? And nobody's gonna buy it unless he cuts and he makes some adjustment there, which is gonna come out of his profit. So Elon Musk, all bad news. Thinking about opening a new party, political party, which I don't know, guys. I mean, this is not something as simple as tweeting like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do something." Well, if you're the richest man on earth, you just a couple days ago tweeted all this stuff and then you took it back in, you deleted everything. Trump, I would say Trump is doing actually well on this case. And, keep responding and saying, well, I'm going to send you back to South Africa. And, that's crazy. These two are going at it. But let me know your thoughts on that. But you can see Tesla took a beating because of that. But still, there were a lot of bullish calls because 300 held here on Tesla. Meta down finally 2.56%, but I think this is nothing but a dip. It might be going back up again. Netflix finally down over 3%, and we've been talking about it that it's going to come at some point, and it came today. Google flat. We got Broadcom going down 4%, Nvidia 3%, Microsoft 1%, PLTR. Again, Kramer going after it. I think he called the shot that it's going to 200. So watch out. It might be coming down to 100 on PLTR. And now let's talk about Apple once again before we get to Tesla and all the other ones. So on Apple stock, it's up 1.29%, and now it's up another just over 0.5%. So this thing wants to go, and there is a gap at 221. We did close this gap today, and I talked about it, and I said this gap will likely to get filled right here, just below 210, and we were there today, guys, with some high volume once again. So if there is a breakout, it does not mean that it's just gonna pop and go all the way immediately. Some people don't have patience. You got to give time. There might be a pullback down to again. Who knows? We saw that pullback today down to 207. It held, but you can see it's outside the Bollinger Band. This Bollinger Band will expand and slowly will move up. Even if we get a pullback all the way down to 203, 204, that is totally fine as long as this breakout holds right here on Apple. I think we have a big move that is coming on Apple stock, and you can still catch it. But right now, you got to be careful because of how it's trading outside the Bollinger Band without any consolidation. So Apple here, 207 can hold, 210 next stop, 214, and then possibly this gap just below 222 right here. Now let's talk about Tesla. Tesla stock down 5.34%. We got a gap down today. So Tesla here, there is a well target here. I did post that in my Discord. It's 300. So far, wells are happy with this pullback, and there is one at 350 and 400. So the bottom target already hit. Now the question remains: there were a lot of call flow. You can see even the volume was high today, came in late in the day. So if this thing can hold, I would say 290 to 300, we can possibly see a pushback up to 314 to 316 to close this gap and possibly back up to this high right here at 322 and then 330. Then we will be back up running again on Tesla. Now, if this thing breaks below 300 and stays under, then watch out. We might be pulling back even harder all the way down to 290, 280, and we got some unfinished business down here on Tesla, these gaps. And these I'm going to go through pretty quick. So Amazon is another one that wants to run, and I think it's going to run. I do have a smaller position, nothing big because I don't like chasing, just because it actually broke out of this 216 range, and now we're pulling back into that 5-day moving average. I think it can go to 230 as long as we remain over 216 to 218 on Amazon. So tomorrow, watch out. 216 to 218 can hold. It can push up to possibly this high right here, 224, maybe even 230 at some point next week. And don't forget, Friday, 4th of July. And that is why you guys are getting that special. And it's already on, guys. That special is on. And 4th of July, market will be closed. So, and that special will be running out 4th of July, Friday night, midnight. So, that's something to keep a note of. But here on Amazon, I think if this thing stays up next week, I mean, July is that usually a bullish month, and it can possibly push even higher. And there is a huge gap right up here. So you guys saw that with Apple, how it came out and just got that big move and closing one gap today. So Amazon can do the same if you're going long on Amazon and you have a tight stop loss on this play. Now, some news with especially when Apple admitted that they don't really have any type of AI business and whatever they're doing. They're gonna use OpenAI and all that. Well, Google took a beating yesterday because of that news. Because if they're using OpenAI and all that, something else, they might lose that Google thingy on Apple that a lot of people use, Google search engine, right? And if that's out, they're gonna lose a lot of customer, Google. So that's a bad catalyst. But despite all that, you know how it is. Apple yesterday was a good kind of bad news. Let me put it that way, because they gave up on AI and they're moving into something that they can start from a different company. So they gave up on it, right? But market took it as positive, like, okay, at least you're gonna use this OpenAI or whatever, it just gonna break out. And the main thing is rotation, guys. Main thing is these whales are rotating money into Apple. So Dow Jones was a laggard, right? It did not hit an all-time high yet, but I think it's going there. And why it didn't go there? Well, UNH and Apple holding back, and now these two firing up. So I think Dow will outperform S&P 500 and even Nasdaq 100, and you're going to see some money coming out of chip names like Nvidia, even Microsoft, cloud names. And it's gonna go into these names like UNH, healthcare. You saw leading today, and then you got Apple, another one that can actually move higher and possibly can go back up to all-time high, because there is upside on Apple. But do you see upside on Microsoft? How much? Do you see upside on Nvidia? How much? So those might be taking a backseat for now. Some consolidation. It will still stay up, but it's not gonna go too far. But Apple can keep up and keep this market running if they want to run it. And looks like the money is actually rotating into these names. You guys saw that volume today. So here's another one. Even with bad news, it can run. I mean, if this thing breaks over that 182, 181 range, it can possibly make a big move right here. Google stock 176 held again, so keep an eye on that. Below that 174 and then 170 on Google stock. So Microsoft took a hit today, but not by much. Only 490 came, went back up to 492. So maybe this thing will pull back a little bit more, possibly down here around 481. But we have no confirmation yet. Just one day, small, tiny pullback with some not really high volume. So not something that I would like to see on a pullback, really low volume. So watch out, Microsoft now. If this thing gets up and starts running, 495 will be resistant, and then 500. Right now, we do have support down here at 486 and then 481 all the way down to 480 20-day moving average. Here's one that finally came down, which is Meta after hitting a brand new all-time high, pulling back down to 715. So quite a bit of pullback here, guys. And I was expecting some sort of a move maybe down here at 700. We can possibly open a position there, even though I don't like to chase. Because why? Because this was the bull flag consolidation right here. And now if we're pulling back into 700, that might be a buy zone as long as the support holds. You can play it back up to all-time highs once again. But as of right now, it's not there. So watch out tomorrow. If this thing pulls back, 709 key level to watch. Below that, we might be pulling back down to 700 to close this gap. There will be resistance right here now because of this 5-day moving average 725. If we clear that, it's heading up to 736 and then 740, possibly up to even 747, this all-time high that we had yesterday. On AMD, it's down 4%, so AMD did not hold that 138, and now looks like we might be pulling back down to 132, 133. That is going to be the next stop here on AMD, and below that, there will be support at 128, 125. But if this thing reclaims that support right here, 138, it can push back up to 141 to close the gap, and over that, you're going to see a move back up to 148, and then there is this gap which I think it's going to come up and close at some point maybe next week on AMD, as long as this thing can hold over that 132 133 range right here. Let's talk about Netflix, which finally took a beating today, down about $45. Now it looks like a lot of downside here on Netflix. It's down 45 bucks. Well, absolutely nothing. We did not even test top of this range right here, which is 1261. So far, far away here, and we did break below 1300. So now the key level to watch right here, that's gonna be right up here at 1270. Below that, we have this gap right here, 1254. If this thing goes right back up, which it did many times before, there will be resistance at 1300, over there 1307, 1329, and then we're back to all-time highs again. On Nvidia, stock is down nearly 3%, and look at what's happening, guys. I mean, we did close over previous all-time highs, 153, so technically that is bullish. Also, it's retesting this trend line right here, this uptrend, and so far holding right here at 153. So Nvidia, that's going to be really interesting. It needs to hold over 153. There is some gaps down here. It can come back here, possibly move back up. But key level here, it needs to hold over previous all-time highs, which is holding right now. So if you're taking chance, this is it right here. And if that gives up, you might want to maybe add or get out and then maybe add right here at this gap or this consolidation zone over 144. That would be a zone to possibly add, or you get out at the break of 153 and then you come in and re-enter position right here, as long as this can hold after filling this gap, because a lot of consolidation here and then we broke out to the upside. So that is my take on Nvidia. But if this thing remains over this 153, then definitely extremely bullish for a move up to previous all-time highs, and I think the next target 160 to even 180. Just because I'm saying that does not mean that we're gonna go there tomorrow. So don't expect anything big out of Nvidia anytime soon unless there is some catalyst. But watch for these opportunities as they arrive. Once we get that pullback, which we're starting to get one right now, see how that actually works out, if it holds or not, and then you can take a position on Nvidia. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.